Hey guys, good morning. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Citron's webinar series. Today we will talk about how to use a 3D pen. Okay, so if you are here for the first time, again, we welcome you to join us in the comment section. If you have questions, this is the time for you to ask your questions in the comment section. If you are in Facebook, just comment down below. If you are in YouTube, just comment on the right side. All right. My name is Adrian and I'm from Citron Technologies. Today I'll be sharing you my experience in 3D pen and also in general 3D printing. If you haven't heard of 3D pen, today is the chance for you to have a closer look on how you can use a 3D pen. And if you have not tried 3D printing before, I will also explain a little bit on what is 3D printing and the difference between 3D pen and a 3D printer. Okay, so we'll begin shortly. Again, I will explain thoroughly on the components of a 3D pen, how you can use it, and I will show you some tips and tricks, what you need, and what are the suitable age for 3D pen. All right, what's up, guys? Thanks for joining. Welcome. If you are here for the first time, I encourage you to communicate with me. I would like this to be interactive. If you have questions, drop your questions in the comment section again, and let's get started. All right. I have a couple of slides that I would like to go through and describe and explain to you what is 3D pen, and then later on in the later session, I will be demonstrating to you the 3D pen. I have a 3D pen here. It's fairly new. I'll be doing a quick unboxing as well and show you what's in this box, what are the components, and what's the instruction manual like. Everything you need about 3D pen, right? Everything you need to know. Okay, let me just stop my music. All right, let's go. Very simple agenda that we have today. Three things. First, I will be explaining to you what is 3D pen versus 3D printer. Okay, if you don't know what is a 3D pen, but you know what is a 3D printer, this is good. You'll be able to understand, grasp the concept of 3D pen easily. But if you don't know neither of these two 3D printing methods, it's okay. I will also describe to you what is the difference between 3D pen and 3D printer. Next, I will share with you on what are the tools you need to begin with 3D pen. All right, bear in mind that you don't just grab a 3D pen and start printing stuff. You will need some additional tools to get started to make sure that your 3D printing journey is successful. So these are the tools that are accessible in the local stationery shops. You can get it easily. You don't really need to spend a lot of money to get these extra tools. All right, I'm talking about stationeries. All right, and then at the later session, after I explain to you what is 3D pen and 3D printer, the things you need, I will do a quick unboxing of this 3D pen again, and I will demonstrate to you how to print using this 3D pen here. All right, so I hope you guys are excited today. This session is just gonna be an hour long. I hope you stay with me until the end of this session, and I would like to hear your feedback at the end of this session as well. Remember, if you have any questions during this session, I encourage you to drop your questions in the comment section, and I will try my best to give you the answer immediately. If no, later on, I will also redirect you to another group where you can have a one-to-one chat with me, or if you have any doubts in 3D printing. All right. Everyone ready? All ready? Okay, I still see people coming in. All right, I'll just begin by explaining to what is 3D printer and what's 3D pen. Simple definition, a 3D pen works by extruding heated plastic that cools almost instantly into solid. I remember this phrase. It works by extruding heated plastic Heated plastics means the material that you use to 3D print your object. All right, great. Some people, all right, I received some feedback. Okay, you guys are ready. Great. I just started anyway, so sit tight. Just enjoy this session. I'll be talking more at the beginning, and then later on I will do some demonstration. All right, so 3D pen, you sheet plastic material. There are multiple different types of materials for 3D pen. You can use PLA, you can use ABS, right? These are plastics. Once you print it out, it cools off almost instantly into solid. Okay, I will show you this later, but basically this is the concept. You heat some plastic and then it turns into solid almost instantly. It allows freehand creation of 3D objects. Means you don't need to, unlike 3D printer, you are using your hand to create your 3D objects. You don't, right? The whole creation is based on your motory ability of your hand. Okay, the 3D pen shapes like a pen, obviously. It's handled with your hand and your fingers. You have to be able to adjust different settings through your fingers almost instantly, very naturally. So it requires a lot of practice. It's not like a machine. You are part of the machine to create your 3D objects. That's what I'm trying to say. A 3D pen relies on you moving your hand to create your object. Okay, it's similar to calligraphy and pen. If you have a pen, it doesn't mean that you are able to write very pretty, right? Have very good writing. It depends on how well you practice to write with that pen. So basically that pen is like 3D pen. You have to practice to learn how to create your creation, right? With constant practice, right? A simple comparison with 3D printer, which is what you see here. Again, similar definition, it works by extruding heated plastic that cools off almost instantly into solid. Same thing, it melts plastic, cools off instantly into solid. But the only difference here between 3D printer and 3D pen is that it allows the user to create the 3D object based on CAD model or digital 3D model. Basically, the 3D printer does is it prints out the object that you draw on your software, on a 3D modeling software, so you get a very precise and very accurate object. Whereas for 3D pen, it relies fully on your motory skills. So this is just the biggest difference between 3D pen and 3D printer. Okay, one, you need to move your hand. Your hand is the motor. And for 3D printer, it has built-in stepper motors that allows it to print to a specific coordinate to create your object. Okay, so a more fundamental way of seeing 3D pen and 3D printer is that 3D printer, you can create precise object, and 3D pen, you can't. 3D pen, it's more like a doodling. It's more like an art tool for you to create artistic work. Okay, here are a few examples that I have. Later, I will show you these examples when I switch my camera. But again, I'm just gonna go through my slides first, and then later on I will do the demonstration. Very quickly, what do we need to get started in 3D pen? A few important tools. Some of these tools are added by me after experimenting with a 3D pen. Things that I feel that it's relevant, that it's important, that you need to have. And some of the tools are just for safety purposes. All right, number one, you will need wax paper or a 3D printer platform sticker. If you own a 3D printer, normally a 3D printer, when it melts the material, it will print on top of a bed or platform. That platform allows the material to stick on top of it, and you will be able to remove it easily. If you don't have this material, another option is to use wax paper. Why do we need to use wax paper or this platform sticker? If you print your object, your material directly to paper, when you try to remove this plastic, this object, the paper is going to stick on top of your object. All right, it's very difficult to remove. The paper will stick on top of your object, basically. All right, because you're melting the material at 200 degrees Celsius on top of paper, and once you do that, it's gonna stick. So use wax paper or 3D printer platform sticker. I have a magnetic platform that I use for my 3D printer, and I'm going to use this later to print some simple object. Number two, a cutter. All right, a simple cutter, a wire cutter to be exact. This is for you to clean your object. Once you print it out, there will be a lot of strings, there will be a lot of sharp ends. You will need a cutter to remove all those. A scissors will work as well. A scissors works as well. Number three, a cardboard cutting mat. So you are dealing with high temperature. Your 3D pen is not like a 3D printer. It doesn't sit there forever. A 3D pen depends on where you place your pen, like a hot glue gun. So if you use a hot glue gun, of course you will need a cutting mat or a cardboard, to place on top so that your glue doesn't drip on your desk. Same goes to a 3D pen. When you print, you have to make sure that you don't place it on your desk. Don't let it lie down. There's a holder for your 3D pen. Just place it correctly and have a cutting mat or a cardboard just in case. Right? Don't burn the table. Don't burn the desk. Okay, this is just a safety precaution that I would suggest having. Number four, multiple colors of filament. In the box, right, in this package, it comes with multiple colors of filament. But if you are designing something more complex, I would recommend having more colors. You can get those filaments, short filaments. I mean, not short filaments, but not the entire row of filament. All right, this is the entire row of filament used by 3D printer. I have a couple here, that's why I am able to extract the filaments out for 3D pen. But if you are just doing some simple projects, of course, you can purchase these small rolls of filament for your 3D pen projects. So again, I suggest multiple colors or white color so that you can paint it later. A tweezer. A tweezer is a very important tool. It allows you to reach to areas where your finger shouldn't be reaching out to. The 3D pen, it involves with high temperature. The tip is very high temperature. It depends on how much you set, but it can go up to 230 degrees Celsius, from 60 to 230 degrees Celsius. So you don't want to use your finger to clean the tip. You're gonna burn yourself. Your skin is gonna stick on top of the nozzle. Use a tweezer instead. All right, I find it very useful. You can just peel off the unnecessary filament that is stuck on the nozzle. So have a tweezer. All right, get a tweezer. This is not expensive. You can get a cheap one from DIY. All right. Number six, for beginners, I would recommend you to start with a template. A template. You can print this template like what you see on the right side here. This is the link, the 3D Doodle. They are a 3D printing company, 3D pen company. They offer a lot of templates and also instructions to teach you, to guide you on how you can 3D print using a 3D pen. Right? There are steps and step by steps on how you can create different types of variations. So if you plan on getting this for your children, all right, this is the website that you should go to. You can just follow their GIF, their video on how you can create different types of objects based on their template. You can print out this template on a piece of paper, use your wax paper, place it on top, and then just follow the lines and print out your object. So it's very simple. I would recommend this for beginners. If you have no sense of art, like me, I would definitely choose this method instead. All right, you don't have to draw something out from your motory or your art skills, okay, which I don't have. And later I'll be using a different types of template and I will show you what it is. So again, guys, I've done explaining what is 3D pen, what is 3D printer, what you need to get started. These are just some of the simple tools. To add on one thing, I also added this blue tack, white tack, right? This sticky tack. I find it important when you are trying to print something big. You need to, use this to keep your object from moving. And also the holder needs this as well, right? I will show you why we need it later. But basically, these are the simple tools that we need. Again, if you have questions, please drop your questions in the comment section. And let's move on to the next part, which is the demonstration part. I'm not going to waste more time because we will spend most of our time 3D printing with the 3D pen. So let's move on to the unboxing. Let me stop my camera right now. Okay. Cue music. So over here, we have this 3D pen tool. All right, it's from China. There's no specific brand to this. Okay, I hope you can hear me. There's no specific brand to this, but then again, it works well. Right, the model is 3D pen -2 adapter, 100 to 240 volts. The weight is 62 grams. It's very light. The nozzle diameter is 0.7 mm. It's quite wide. For every 3D printer by default, it will come with a 0.4 mm diameter. The nozzle is made out of ceramic. It's not brass nozzle like all our 3D printer. Okay, the material supported by this 3D pen is ABS and PLA. But personally, I would recommend using just PLA. If you let your students use it, just use PLA. ABS, it produces this toxic film that I don't recommend inhaling. So stick to PLA. PLA fitting, it's 1.75 mm diameter. So if you decided to get your own PLA filament or your own materials, make sure the filament diameter is 1.75 mm. Usually, most cases, the filament diameter is this 1.75 mm. All right, so let's begin with the unboxing here. Very simple. You will receive an instruction manual, right? Basically, I opened this box before this webinar series, but I would like to show you, right? This one, it's still new. I haven't opened this yet. And also, I want to show you how thorough this manual is. It's actually very detailed. I like it very much. It explains everything and include troubleshooting method as well, which is I think it's above average of what China product you can get lah. All right, in this diagram over here, it shows what are the components of this 3D pen. All right, it's hard to show you over here, but I'm going to directly show you from the 3D pen here. Okay, so here's the 3D pen. So over here at the tip, you have your nozzle. This is a ceramic nozzle. Again, it's a ceramic nozzle. You can open the head by pressing these two buttons. I'm not going to open it now. And then over here, you see this slider here. This is to let you adjust your extrusion speed, how fast you want to feed your filament from this slider here. And then there are two buttons for your thumb. This is the direction of the filament moving. When you press down, your material should go downward, and when you press up, your material should unload, should release from your pen. There's a tiny display over here that allows you to change your temperature. You can manually change your temperature from 60 degrees to 230 degrees Celsius, or you can directly pick PLA or ABS, which is have a default temperature setting. PLA is 200 and ABS, if I'm not wrong, it's 230 degrees Celsius. I would recommend using the minimum temperature required to melt the PLA material, all right? Or else you will get a lot of strings. Your filament will be very watery, very it's too hot, all right? At the top here, there are two holes. One is for your power jack, right? Your power adapter, 12 volt, 2 amp. All right, the adapter provider is 12 volt, 2 amp. Okay, I got it here. Okay, I got mine UK. It's basically 12 volt, 2 amp. All right, I'm not sure if you can see it clearly, but 12 volt, 2 amp. And then this is to go here, 12 volt. And the hole here is the filament input hole for you to insert your filament through here. There's a DC motor here with a gear that pulls the filament in when you click the button here. So later on, I will show you how you can feed your filament while pressing this button. Okay, so the pen, you hold it like a normal pen. The thumb have to move up and down depending on when you want to release your filament and when you want to pull your filament back. And then your index finger is supposed to adjust the speed. So it makes it very intuitive, all right? You adjust accordingly based on how you want your filament to respond, right? When you print your object, you have to intuitively keep on switching between these buttons so that you can get a very good result. If you stick on the same settings and throughout your whole print, it's gonna be disastrous. It's very difficult to control the speed, your movement, or it depends on how fast your hand move as well. So I'll show you that later. Again, I'm still a beginner, but I think I'll be able to show you 1 or 2 tricks on how to print. Okay, so we have our adapter, we have our pen, we have our instruction manual. Instruction manual that shows you how you should connect your power, how you can set your settings for your temperature, and how you can manually set different temperature. All right, I see some comment. Are you guys lagging? I hope it's okay. Right now, are you guys lagging? Okay. All right, I'm gonna continue. And then your DC jack filament, how it should be inserted into your 3D pen, and then when you print, the angle should be at around 65 degrees, right? Your pen, your motion, you should be pointing downwards 65 degrees, more than 65 degrees. Don't print it, don't print it like too slight or too 90 degrees. And when you insert your filament, you have to make sure that the filament is flush. When you cut it, you have to cut it 90 degrees instead of slant. I know 3D printers owners, we will cut 45 degrees of filament to insert into the extruder. But for this case, it's recommended that you slice it 90 degrees. Okay, so we have our instruction manual. We have our sample filament. We have 2 types. One is silk. You see it's a little shiny, and then another is black, and then we have gray. 3 colors from the sample filament. It's enough to draw a simple object, but not enough for you to create multiple creations. So I suggest getting more filament if you want to practice and create more objects. And then we have this 3D pen holder. This 3D pen holder is a bit, it's light. There's no weight to it. All right, it's very light, a few grams, and obviously the 3D pen is heavier, so occasionally it will topple. It topples easily. That's where we need our white tack. I'm gonna stick it down where I need to place it, and yep. Again, guys, if you have question, ask me. Else I will just continue with the demonstration. So first, I am going to stick this down to where I want to place my pen. This is what I'm gonna do. Place some tack on each side of this holder. This is part of the safety steps that you should take, because you don't want your 3D pen to topple down. You don't want to break it. You don't want to drop it on the floor. So make sure the holder is stays in place. Make sure it stays in place this way. All right. And then next, I'm going to connect my power adapter. Just slide it in, power adapter, and then I'm gonna hook up to the power. Once you switch it on, it turns on immediately. All right, you will see there's red light over here. Okay, the light is okay. Over here it shows PLA. Means default it will go PLA temperature, and then if you hit next, it will show ABS. All right, PLA or ABS. The temperature doesn't heat up yet until you press a button. And then once you press the button, it will show you, okay, what temperature it is. It's a bit hard for you to see. Okay, right now 65, 66, 67, 70 degrees. The temperature is rising very quickly. I can tell you that this 3D pen, the temperature rises faster than the 3D printer, 100%. While I talk right now, it's already at 150, 160 degrees. For a 3D printer, it takes some time to heat up the nozzle. All right, normally at least 1 minute to 2 minutes. For this 3D pen, okay, right now it's at 200 degrees. I think I accidentally set it to ABS. But if you think that the temperature is too high, you are allowed to lower the temperature by pushing these buttons over here. Okay, if you can hear, I just press the button and then the motor is moving, but right now I don't feed any filament into this into the 3D pen yet. So it's trying to pull filament into the pen, which is not happening right now. So I am just going to turn it off, turn the motor off, and place it where it should be. Okay, sorry, I pressed it again. And then I'm going to open my filament. Okay, before that, PLA filament, let me turn this off. PLA filament are very sensitive to moisture. If you expose it into very high humidity room, the PLA will absorb moisture. All right, and then when you print, the quality may not be what you want. It will become like there are bubbles in between, and then you will be hearing popping sounds coming out from the filament when it melts. That's why it's airtight, right? Sealed tightly. I'm sharing this not just for 3D pen, but also for 3D printer. Every PLA material, every ABS material, PLA and ABS, it's prone to moisture. You have to make sure that it's not exposed to the environment too long. keep it in a Tupperware, keep it in something that is sealed, so that or even a zip bag to make sure that it doesn't expose to moisture or high humidity environment. All right, once I open this, after this, I will have to seal it in a zip bag. Again, this is PLA. All right, I have 3 colors here. For a 3D pen to work with filament, normally you cut it into rolls like this. Okay, you don't use an entire roll and hook it up with your 3D pen. No, because you will be pulling this. It's very annoying, right? It's not right. You need something light so that your movement is very smooth. Okay, so we have 3 colors: pink, black, and gray. I'm going to start with gray because my platform is blackish. You should be able to see me print it. This is my magnetic printer bed, my 3D printer bed. Okay, the material above is something like wax, so it allows me to print it on top, and when I just it's flexible, so I just have to press it and then it comes off easily. I recommend this, but if you don't have this, you can use wax paper. Again, you can use wax paper. Don't use paper. Your material will stick on top of the paper. Okay, that's a safety feature for the 3D pen. If you leave it too long heated, it will drop the temperature back to normal, to our room temperature. It will cool down itself. Right? Means if you don't press the button for too long, it will just automatically go down, which is a very good feature, in my opinion, because sometimes you forgot to switch off the power and there's no on and off button actually. Right? Once you turn on the button, it goes straight into the mode, and once you press the button, the temperature rises immediately. So it responds based on the buttons that you press. If you don't press anything, it will remain at room temperature. But once you press it, the temperature rises immediately. Okay, so now I'm going to fit my filament, but before that, let's take a look at some of the questions. I see some questions in the comment section here. I'm gonna take a pause right now. Okay. All right, yeah, Shaman. Sometimes I find it very disturbing when the filament is tangled up. Yes, correct, but I think that is a more major issue for 3D printer. When you print in your 3D printer, once you insert your filament into your machine, it's very difficult to remove the filament and reinsert it again. You have to stop your print and then remove it. Once it's tangled, you have to remove it and then untangle it and put it back into your printer. So that's very troublesome. But for a 3D pen, once it's tangled, it's fine because the end is easily located. All right, everything is here. It's very easily located, and you can just untangle it while you print. It's not as troublesome as a 3D printer, in my opinion. All right, so tangling it here, it's fine. All right, you can untangle it easily because this is just a handful of filament here. So where I got my 3D pen, I got it from Cytron. Obviously, I'm from Cytron, but yes, there are 2 types of 3D pen in Cytron's page. You can check it out. One has a better feature, better LCD, right? I believe a better, smoother motor as well. But this one is around 40 ringgit. Comes with this filament, but the tools is excluded. So do check it out. If you're on YouTube, the product page is in the description link. Right, just check on the description there. There is the product link is over there. Okay, I'm sorry guys. Okay, I know you have been waiting. What am I going to print today? Okay, I haven't filled in my filament yet, but here's what I'm going to print. So here are some simple examples. I have printed a few alphabet, 3D alphabet. It's very simple to print. It's a good practice for students. Right, alphabet. I'm pretty sure you know how to draw alphabet, how you know how to write alphabet. So it's a very good, easy practice. So I have ABC over here, ABC. Okay, and then I have this little bird over here. It's a balancing bird. All right, it's a balancing bird. It teaches you the center of gravity, but you have to use the filament as weight to adjust the center of gravity of this bird. So I will print this too. Again, you don't really need to have skills to print this because I have a template for this. You can also follow those templates and draw it easily. But let's begin. We don't have much time. Let's begin. Okay, first things first, make sure that your filament, the end of the filament is 90 degrees, slice off 90 degree. I'm not sure if you can see this, but it's 90 degree. It's not 45. It's not slant. And then let me move my adapter closer. You have to make sure that you have enough movement space when you print, right? Enough space. You don't want your wire to tie you down when you pull. Slot your filament in and push this button. Okay. When you push the button, it will heat up the nozzle. The temperature will rise very quickly. Right now it's at 120. Okay, because I want to fit my filament in quick, I'm going to adjust my speed higher. So this is speed adjustment again. This is speed adjustment. And then okay. So now it's going in. You see it's green color, and then you can hear that there's noise over here. It's going in fast. Okay, it goes all the way to the end already. All right, so how do I know? Okay, right now you can see that the filament is in. Okay, it will be hanging this way. All right, make sure it doesn't block your hand when you print, and then test a few to make sure that it is able to melt your filament. Different types of filament have different melting characteristics, so make sure you set the correct temperature. Right now I'm at 200 degrees Celsius for PLA, but I would recommend around 185 degrees so that you don't get too messy, not so many strings when you print. It looks neater. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and push the button here. So how the motor response is, every time you press, you hold on to the button, it will extrude the filament. Once you let go of the button, it will pull the material back. There's a slightly drawback so that you know the excessive material at the nozzle won't leak out on your print. It's a very good feature too, so that you know when you print, and then you want to quickly, immediately stop at that point, let go, it will pull the filament back so that it doesn't drip on your object. All right, so I'm going to extrude some filament. As you can see, okay, it's melting already. All right, I'm just going to let it out a few inch. Okay, and then once I let go, done. All right, so I have, okay, and then it hardens almost instantly. Over here, I have my mini trash can so that I can just make sure that my workplace is clean and then get ready with my tools. I have my tweezer here. I want to clean my tip. I will just pull using a tweezer. Don't use your hand and go and touch the nozzle because the temperature is what the indicator shows here, 200 degrees Celsius. Don't go and use your hand and go and touch the ceramic. Use a tweezer, pull it out, clean the tip, and then start printing. So simple one. I am going to print the letter A. Okay, I'm gonna proceed with D. All right. Okay, I have ABC and I'm gonna continue with my D. All right, and let's begin. So now I don't have any template because assuming that you know how to write the capital letter D, you can just go ahead. But if you don't know how, you can always, do some template on top, or you can print it on a wax paper and then just follow on the wax paper. Okay, before I begin, again, I have to make sure that I have enough hand space to move around. Then I can begin printing. Let's go ahead. Okay, again, if you think that you can't finish the entire print in one go, it's fine. Just release the button and let it stop, let it rest. Oops, okay, the whole print flew away. Let me try again. Okay, I need more hand space. Okay, clean the tip first. Clean the tip and then start. Right now I'm at almost lowest speed. All right, I don't like to go to the lowest, so I go slightly higher so that I can. The speed depends on how fast your hand moves. If your hand moves very fast, you draw very fast, then you have to go higher speed so that it extrude faster. Okay. Make sure that when you print, you give some space for the filament to come out. So over here, it's a bad example. All right, this part is okay. This part is fine. Let me show you closer look. Right, this part is okay. All right, it's slightly, bumped out. It's fine. But when you press it too much, it's gonna look flat this way. It means there's not enough space for the filament to come out. And then I'm gonna draw the center here. Imagine you are drawing. Imagine you're drawing on a piece of paper. So when you draw, you have to make sure that there's space for your hand to move around, right? When you color, when you do coloring and everything, you have to make sure that there's enough space for your hand to move around. Same goes to 3D pen. If you think that there's no space for me to go this direction, stop immediately and then adjust your view. So now I have the outline of my D, or my capital D. I am going to create the infill to cover the areas. Okay, first create outline, second create the perimeter. First create the outline of the perimeter, and then next shade the area, doodle the area. You don't have to make it compact. All right. Again, this is not 3D printer. It's not meant to create what a 3D printer can do. You are not meant to create a compact object. Just doodle it to make everything sealed together. Okay, right. I almost used my finger, but advisable to use a tweezer. Clean the tip and then move the. Okay. Right. As you can see, there's a block here that blocks me, so I can't really move my nozzle. Oops. Okay. So it comes off quite easily. Another reason is also because I'm in a air-conditioned room right now. The temperature is quite low, so once I bumped it, easily it will come off. Okay, I'm gonna redraw that part. And then with a cutter, I'm gonna slice this part. Oh yeah, comes off so easily. Okay, let's be careful this time. Basically, you're just doodling, right, to cover end to end so that it sticks. Okay. Aesthetic wise, it's not the best. All right. But then again, it's all meant for doodling. You have to be very patient, and then you will improve after a couple of practices. All right. Okay. Just to fill in some slots here. And then, yeah, there we go. So I have my first piece. Okay, see how easily it comes off. If you print it on a piece of paper, it's not going to come off that easily. You're gonna pull the paper together with your print. But right now I'm on the, this material, wax type of material, so it's very easy to come off. I'm going to print another one that looks similar to this so that I can create a 3D object with it. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now I'm going to go higher speed, right? Since we have lesser time. Okay. It's a bit off. I would still recommend using a template if you have it. See, it comes off so easy. The bed is so cold, too cold. Okay, done. All right, so now I have 2D. What I have to do next is, all right, I'm just gonna clean up with my cutter, clean up those unwanted areas, spikes, sharp ends that you don't want, and then of course the strings. You see, there are some tiny little strings. You can pull that off easily. Just cut it off. All right, keep your place clean. Keep your place clean, and then next thing, you will want to stack your two capital letters together this way. So how are you going to do that? You need to draw frames, draw structures. Okay. Let me slow down the speed slightly. Press a bit here. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see clearly, but this is what it looks like. All right, I'm just trying to draw a straight line upwards and then hold the top part. Okay, give it some time to cool off. Okay, just draw four corners of it. You can draw from top down or draw from bottom up. I would recommend bottom up. I'm sorry if the angle is not right. Can't see clearly. I'll show you after I'm done with this. Let's take a look. So I have 1 corner, 2, 3, and then 4. All right, so now it's floating already. What you need to do next is you have to doodle in between. Just cover up the space. Oops. Right, that's the hazardous part. Okay, I have to put my mic at the side and then start doodling. The doodling is the easy one. You just go side by side, side by side, side by side. But make sure it sticks. Right. Okay. Right now, I'm very sure it's because of the room temperature that I'm in right now. It's slightly low. It's affecting the print. Okay, as you can see, I'm slowly covering the sides. It's a 3D pen is actually a very useful tool for designers, architects, or even interior designers actually to create those models. They are models, they are 3D models. When they want to fix the parts, they can use a 3D pen and fix those parts easily. Or they can even create simple miniature models using a 3D pen. But then again, you have to make sure that you have to know that the accuracy is not there to create a very precise object. If you're looking for precision, then a 3D printer is much more recommended. Okay, so here is my 3D capital letter D. It's a bit out of shape, right? Because I'm not following any template, but there you have it. It looks like this. So let's get down to this guy. How did I draw this? Okay, how did I draw this? How did I balance this? The answer is very simple. I have a template. And my template is based on this wooden bird. Okay. I noticed that there are a lot of these DIY kits, wooden DIY kits these days. You know, they use laser cutters and then they cut out the shapes like this. And this wood is actually a very good template for us to use 3D pen on. Right, this is just one example. All right, it's a balancing bird. A balancing bird good for students to learn about center of gravity. And then by using 3D pen, you have to adjust the amount of filament for each side of the wings so that it can balance properly. Of course, there's 2 components to this. And how I drew this is I basically just, trace on top of my bird, trace the bird, and then actually I just draw it on top of the wood. Right, and then after that, I increase the amount of filament at the end of each wing, slowly adjusting the balance of the bird. Okay, let's see if I have extra time. Okay, let me answer a few questions. Okay. Right. What's the pen printer 3D pen? Okay, I'm using this. Right, you can get it in the description below. If you're from YouTube, you can get it from the description below. I've included the product page for this. There are 2 types actually, but both can do the same thing. It's just more precise motor from the pen. And then produce template lah. We will think about this lah. Right, it needs some designing, but again, the website that I shared earlier, you can also refer to that website, the 3D Doodle. They share a lot of templates for free. You can learn from them. They have videos as well. I will include it in our product page so that you can download from our product page. Let's see, what other questions do you have? Guys, do you have more questions? Drop your questions right now. I'm reading the questions. I want to draw a dragon. Okay, if you have no more questions, great. Again, let me just quickly show you all right, how I unload and how I reload. I'm going to change, because I have 5 minutes left, I'm going to change the pink filament right now. So this is my gray filament. How I'm going to do this, I have to press the top button, and then I'll set the maximum speed, press the top button. Right. If it doesn't move, it means that the temperature is not high enough so that the motor won't force it to, release or extrude. The temperature will go up, the LED will become red, and the temperature will rise. Once it hits the temperature, then the motor, you can use the motor. Can you hear it? So basically, it unloads the filament. Here's a good practice. Every time you finish printing with a 3D pen, don't leave your filament at the inside the pen. Always remove it from the pen. Okay, always remove it from your pen and then cut the end off. And then keep your filament in a zip bag. So now I'm going to insert this another color. Place it in and then click this front button. And then it's going to feed. Right? Once it starts feeding, you will be able to know, because it's pulling the filament in. You see the filament is going in. All right. Make sure to slow down once it starts, starts extruding, right? Slow down the motor, press the button, and then it will stop. Okay, and then again, if you want to draw this object first, you will need to outline your entire object, entire print. Outline it before you draw the inner part. Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead with this smaller one. Outline the bird. Okay, my hand is over there. Swap places. You have to be very flexible when you print, because when something is blocking your way, you have to twist and turn. Okay, so I got my outline, a simple outline, and then now filling, doodle to fill. Sometimes when you press and then you can hear the motor is trying very hard to extrude the filament, but it's not coming out. It means that you have to increase the speed, right? There's not enough motor torque to push your filament out from the extruder, from the nozzle. So just increase the speed, and then you should be able to see the filament coming out very easily. Okay. The age that I recommend for 3D pen is 10 and above, right? It's not advisable to give students below 10, because you're dealing with high temperature, and of course 10 to 12 years old, you will need parental guidance. Okay, to make sure that they understand what they can do and what they can't do, especially the nozzle. Don't touch the ceramic head. But other than that, it's fine, right? It's not as dangerous as a 3D printer. And I recommend using PLA. So once you're done, okay, this one sticks better, so I will use a tweezer to just slightly peel off. Right, just go underneath and then just slide across the part. Okay, once you print it, once you're done printing it, right, it's still hot and it's still soft, so you may accidentally, dent it or change the shape. But once you give it some time, then it will solidify. So I have my bird head, and then I'm just gonna swap my head. Okay, but of course, in this bird, I created a slightly bigger platform to hold my bird. This one is still too thin, so I will need to modify it, or else it will look like this. It can't really, it can't really balance. There's not enough space around here. Okay, that marks the end of my demonstration. I know some of you guys just joined, but bear in mind that this is a recorded session. You can always rewatch this session. You can always rewatch this live. And before you go, please don't go yet. I have a couple of things that I would like to share with you. Let me just bring in my screen. Then, okay, all right. Thanks for joining for this long session, 1 hour session. And I hope you find this session interesting. Again, I will still be here to answer your questions. If you still have any more questions. All right, next week, we will be learning Arduino using Tinkercad. Before this session, we actually learned how to use 3D modeling with Tinkercad, how to program microbit with Tinkercad. Next week, I'll be teaching you how to program Arduino with Tinkercad. So, yeah, do join our next session next Saturday. Okay, thanks for the question. Can you use cardboard? Yes, I recommend using cardboard at the bottom, but don't print directly on top of cardboard because it sticks on the cardboard. When you peel it off, the cardboard will stick on top of the material. Use a piece of wax paper, place on top of the cardboard, print on top of the wax paper. All right, wax paper can simply be the McDonald's wrapping paper. Those burger packing paper, right? You clean it and then you can use that for the printing. Those are wax paper. With wax paper, you can peel off the material easily. Okay, this is just my recommendation. But if you want to use cardboard or paper, I recommend adjusting the temperature lower, around 170 degrees to 180, so that when you print it out, it's not that hot, it doesn't stick on top of the material. Okay, give it a try. Just give it a try. In 3D pen got what? So the 3D pen, I'm not really sure what's the question here, but in 3D pen, you do check out the website in the description below. I have posted the link over there. You can go through the product page and understand what the 3D pen is all about. But of course, you can rewatch this live. I did explain the components of the 3D pen and what's in the box actually. What's in this box actually? Just now I did an unboxing earlier in this session. Yeah. Okay, next. Whoop. Currently, we are running a competition. All right, it's a project kit idea for beginners. So if you have a brilliant idea, we welcome you to join us in this competition. Here's the link for the competition. Join us, submit your ideas, and stand a chance for your ideas to become an actual product. Right? The whole idea is that how you can create a kit that suits students' needs. How do you teach digital making with a simple kit now? Right? So join our competition. The first prize is 1,000 USD, and then 20 prizes is 50 USD. Yes, we have groups. But today we are talking about 3D pen, so this is our 3D printing group. Do join us in our Telegram. And if you want to learn more about this competition, go to this link. There's also a Telegram group there. Just click and join the Telegram group. Ask any questions about the competition there. And ask anything about 3D printer in this group here. Join us in this Telegram group, okay? Okay, next, the certificate. If you have feedback that you want to share with us, if you want to share more interesting topics in the future, do drop us your feedback. Scan this link. There's a link below there. You can go to the link and then drop us your feedback. Once you've dropped the feedback, and also we have a mini quiz over there. Answer the quiz correctly and you will receive an e-certificate of participation. Okay, if you answer incorrectly, then I'm sorry, you won't be receiving your certificate. And make sure that you insert the correct email in the certificate will directly be sent to your email address. Okay, so thank you guys for joining today's session. I hope you enjoy it. If you just join in a bit later, it's fine. This is a recorded session. You can rewatch this video on YouTube. Okay, so thank you very much for attending our 14th Cytron webinar series. Bear in mind that we have this Cytron webinar series on a weekly basis, Saturday 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Do join us in our next session next week, Saturday, and I will see you again soon. Thank you very much. Okay, bye.